All right, all right. Hey, my friends. Hello, how are you? Hold the applause. Thank you, thank you. I don't even know if there's much of an applause here, but my friends, it's an honor to be here virtually with all of you. Listen, I struggle with anxiety, especially when I'm presenting virtually rather than being in person. Like when I'm in person, I get to really get into it. And nonetheless, I just want you to know that I'm blessed and truly appreciative that I get to present however I can in what we're calling the new normal, right? I'm Jeff Yalden. I've spent 30 years traveling all over the world, talking to school communities on mental health and suicide prevention. And after the pandemic kind of shut everything down, my travel came to a halt. But I found it to be the perfect time for me to reframe my career and focus more on myself as a person. And it was then where an opportunity came up to move to Jacksonville, Florida, and to be a part of the suicide epidemic in our area, Duval County, St. Johns County. So I come to you from here in my office in Jacksonville Beach, Neptune Beach, Florida. My office here tomorrow. I'm the Director of Education and Community Outreach. We're a mental health collaborative, and I absolutely love who I work with and the work that I get to do. More so, the great thing is I can still speak, but I don't make it a priority as a business model to survive. I'm more focused on me and doing the work that I love to do. Let me tell you something, my friends. As a professional speaker, a lot of people want to observe me as a speaker and think I'll be polished and professional with gestures and magic. And so if you're one of those people that are observing me, please don't. As a matter of fact, I'll probably do everything a professional speaker is taught not to do. And I probably won't even be organized in my talk. I'm sorry, but if I can't speak from my heart to yours, I can't and I don't want to do this. So with that being said, my friends, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for letting me share my heart with yours today. I truly feel honored. I also want you to know that I'm here to teach you not how to do your job more effectively or how to be better at doing your job. I'm simply here to share my heart with yours, my wisdom, my experiences of working in school communities with mental health professionals, teachers, parents, doctors, nurses, first responders, coordinators such as yourself over the past 3 decades. And so I hope that through my life experiences, my heart, my work experiences, my personal experiences, I can speak to your heart both in a personal way, but also in a professional manner. Because I feel that when you're happy personally, well, we're much more successful professionally, and when we're happy professionally, we are much more successful in our personal lives as well. As I get started, I'm being reminded of asking you a question. And I want you to think it to yourself. My friends, who is the hardest person to get to know? Well, if you're like 90% of the people I ask this question to, you're probably saying ourselves, us, me. That's right. We get to know ourselves through life experiences, what we've been through. We solidify our being through what we do, what we've experienced, both the good and the bad. What we go through in life, it doesn't define you. But what we go through and experience, it does shape us. And it could shape us either good or bad, depending on, well, my friends, I'll tell you what you tell your school community, your families, your students. How you look at life, the mindset that you have. So my question to you is simply this. Are you a victim or a victor? Are you bitter or are you choosing to be better? You see, life doesn't happen to us. Life happens for us. And I'm here to tell you that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. I am where I'm supposed to be. Through the good times, the bad times, the good and the bad. I'm where I'm supposed to be. My friends, you are and have been frontline responders, first responders. You've had to advocate, you've had to fight, heal hearts, talk, understand, be compassionate and empathetic. And you've had to be at the front of a nation that is hurting. You light the way each and every day. You light the way to your school communities. You light the way to your families, the staff, the teachers, and the students. You, my friends, are true heroes. And I don't say this lightly because, my friends, I get it. I understand. I work in suicide crisis intervention, taking emergency crisis calls from United Way's 911, which we call 211, every single day. So together, my friends, we're both heroes. We're all heroes. But we do this work without expecting anything in return, and that is why we love what we do. Or you do this work waiting to be validated, and that is the wrong reason and how you're going to burn yourself out. So we're at the beginning of a new year. And with that said, I want to get into this. I want you to be excited, and I want to share with you how you can make it the best year yet. My friends, I want you to come to work every day and to live personally in your private lives with compassion, empathy, and love for others. But you have to be careful not to carry the darkness of the stories that you hear and have to listen to and be compassionate and empathetic about every day. But I'm going to tell you, I'll talk about compassion and empathy, but you got to be careful not to carry the darkness. Years ago, I got burnt out, and I didn't realize it because I was blinded by my ego and my bipolar-driven attitude. And yes, I live proudly with mental illness. I'm diagnosed with major depression, bipolar type 2, and post-traumatic stress disorder. As a matter of fact, the day that I got diagnosed was probably the greatest day of my life. Getting diagnosed, the greatest day of my life. Because that was the day that I realized that I'm the problem. And with that, I had a choice. You see, when I was growing up, it was always my parents' fault, it was coach's fault, his fault, her fault, teacher's fault, friend's, girlfriend, my ex-wife's fault. It was never me. But when I got diagnosed, that was the moment that I was able to look in the mirror and realize that I'm the problem. And with that, I had the choice that I can accept it, I can fight it. I can ignore it, I can be in denial, I could say, they're wrong. But that was the moment. And my friends, I'll tell you something. If you don't like the reflection that looks back in the mirror, don't blame it on the mirror. I think the mirror is a great place to be. And that was the time that I spent looking at myself in the mirror. And I said, I'm going to face this head on. I'm not going to avoid it. I'm not going to deny it. I'm the problem. And this is what I chose to do. I decided to get help and make this my life and my life's purpose. And so as a result, I'm the healthiest, I'm the happiest, and I'm the most present person that I've ever been. As a matter of fact, I'm more successful than ever. Yet, I still live in recovery from mental illness, and I'm proud to share that. My friends, I could not do what I do if it weren't for three things: therapy, counseling, medication, yoga, or self-care. And yes, I could not do this talk if I didn't make medication, therapy, counseling, and my self-care a priority every single day. And I'm proud to say that. Yeah, folks, I don't know you. I don't know your communities. But I do know your responsibility, and I want to encourage you to first live the message. I want you to be the voice. I want you to be the change that you want to see in others. But how do we do that? I think 5 things are fundamental to living healthy lives. And I'm probably going to mention this again. Hope, education, self-advocacy, personal responsibility, and having a support network. Hope, my friends, number 1, don't ever lose hope. Hope comes from having a purpose in life. Education. You know, they waste education on the young, I think. I think education is not just every day within the walls that we live in. Education's on the internet, it's in the newspaper, it's in the material you read, it's in the conversations you have. We're always being educated, so look to grow. And self-advocacy, not just advocating for ourselves and our community, but teaching people how to advocate for themselves in a respectful and tactful manner. Number 4, personal responsibility. I'll tell you something. One of the things that I find with the people that I counsel every single day is they have a victim mindset. They don't communicate. Personal responsibility is waking up every day and realizing if there's a task that has to be taken care of, I'm going to do it, I'm going to find a way to do it, and I'm getting it done. The other thing, a support network. We can't help people that don't say, hey, I need help. Who is your support network? Who do you reach out to? Who's your I got your back friend? We all need them. And my friends, I'll tell you, if you don't speak it out, you're going to end up acting it out. So have a support network that you feel comfortable communicating with. And also, my friends, I need you to please be careful that you don't get bitten by the burnout or the victim mentality. Attack healthy living now before the negative and the outside influences attack you. Lead the way in your community, with your families, with your students, with your friends, by setting the example. Like Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. I want to share with you 3 questions that I've learned to ask to measure my success every single day. And I do it every single day because this keeps me in purpose. Number 1, is my life meaningful? What does that mean? Is my life meaningful? And I challenge you to ask yourself the same 3 questions. Is my life meaningful? When I go to bed tonight, I lay my head on the pillow. I'm going to think to myself, is my life meaningful? Well, I get to share this message with coordinators that influence their communities within the whole state of Kentucky. Is my life meaningful? I'm invited to do this. Are you listening? Hey, you in the back. I'm just kidding. You guys are probably looking around like, who's he talking to? Nobody. Sorry. My life is meaningful because I get to wake up and do what I love every day. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But I have purpose. Question number 2, is my life fulfilling? Is my heart full? I can only answer for me. What about you? Is your life fulfilling? Is your heart full? I get to speak to you guys. I get to do work that I love every day. My heart is full. Number 3, is my life rewarding? I have a purpose that is bigger than me. You get to directly impact, inspire a community. And at the end of the day, you can't not think that your life is rewarding. Of course it is, but here's the challenge. 3 questions. Is my life meaningful, fulfilling, rewarding? I don't know what your answer is, but I challenge you to write that down. And I challenge you to ask yourself those 3 questions. And if you can't say yes to those 3 questions, then I challenge you to make a change. Whatever that change is, I want you to make a change so that you can say yes, yes, and yes. It's that simple, my friends. Asking these 3 questions gave me clarity in my life. How can these 3 questions help you with your life, with where you are? I don't know, you might have to make some changes. I hope they're not significant ones, but that isn't that bad. It wasn't for me. I grew as a result of having to look at my life through the lens of appreciation rather than expectation. Here's the deal. You have to take care of yourself first. Self-care isn't selfish. I need you, as a matter of fact, to be selfish, to take care of you, because you can't be effective taking care of your community if you don't take care of yourself first. I love this analogy. You can't pour from an empty pitcher. So take care of yourself and realize that the more you take care of you, the better you are personally, the better you are professionally, the better husband, the better wife, the better friend, the better brother, the better sister, the better employee, the better influence you are on all the people around you. My friends, this is what happened to me. And I didn't realize it until it was too late. And I got burnt out and I wasn't as present because of my ego, and I was making it about me and not about the why that I love in the work that I get to do. And I lost my passion. I lost my focus, and I had to find out how to get that back. There's a lot of things that I had to change in my life, and I did. And I can go back to 2015, I was about 350 pounds. Literally, I was given less than a year to live with my diabetes. I had to lose 100 pounds. I remember my therapist was really concerned about me. And one day I showed up and she says to me, she said, "So what did you do today, Jeff?" I remember I looked at her, I said, "Stacy, I bought chicken." She says, "I'm sorry?" I said, "I bought chicken." And I remember she applauded me. And I said, "Stacy, I bought chicken." And she said, "Jeff, that's where we start." I started at the beginning, lost and confused, going through a divorce, given less than a year to live, back surgery, neck surgery. I lost my voice for 6 months. I retired from speaking. I was lost and confused. I didn't know what to do. But as I look back, I remember I lost appreciation. I lost grace. I was making it about me. I was a victim. Listen, my friends, I want to tell you about something. You're going to judge me. And my friends, that's okay. It's part of my growth as a man. It's part of my story that helped me become the man that I am today. But the thing is that I wish I didn't have to share this with you. But I can't take it back, and me not taking care of myself led me to do what I'm about to tell you. And again, I can't take back what me not making my mental health my number one priority led me to do. You see, my wife, Marcia, and that's not two different people. That's my wife at the time, and her name is Marcia, and that's still her name. She was in the hospital having a full hysterectomy, and as many of you know, that's a very serious procedure for women. I remember I dropped her off at the hospital, and a couple days later I went up to the hospital to pick her up, and we were driving home. And as we're driving home, she had a note from the doctor that she had 30 days bed rest. No cooking, no cleaning, no exercising, no working, nothing. 30 days bed rest. And so we pull in the driveway, and I get out of the car and I walk around, and I open the door and I escort her into the house, and I get her set up and situated up in the bedroom, and I said to her, I said, "Can I get you anything? Water, remote control, books, something to eat?" She said, "No, I'm fine. I'm okay." And that was the moment that I walked out on her forever. My friends, I'm sorry. I wish I didn't have to share that with you. I wish, you know what hurts my heart is, here was the lady that I was married to for 17 years. She was my number one. I was her number one. But at the time that she needed me then more than at any time in the world, I wasn't there for her. That is not okay that I walked out on her. It's not okay. And you know something, there's more to the story. We have a great relationship now. I've asked for forgiveness. She's forgiven me. She's got a great man in her life. But you know something? Forgiving yourself is one of the hardest things to do. And I know that as I am speaking this to you, and many of you are probably judging me, and you have every right to do that. I get it. But if I asked you, have you ever said something that you wish you didn't say? You ever done something you wish you didn't do? I bet you every one of you would probably acknowledge, yeah. We're not perfect, are we? Perfection doesn't exist. You know, in 17 years of being married to this beautiful person, she has never seen me speak. And in the very beginning, I understood. She's like, well, if I go see you speak and people laugh at you, then I'm going to want to protect you. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. But 17 years? So I want to share with you, instead of like, well, she never saw me speak 17 years and oh my God, I've learned to look in the mirror that if something isn't right in my life, I look at myself first. And I want to share with you what I did wrong. I never communicated with her. You know, I just let it go. And she can't know what to change if I don't tell her what I need from her. And so it's my fault. I mean, think about it. Had I just sat down with her and said, hey, Marcia, who cares if they laugh at me? Having you there would mean the world to me. I never did that. And so because I never did what I needed to do, I walked out on her. And I'm sorry. My friends, you have everyone's back in your community every single day. But who has your back? As motivators, we are giving so much of ourselves to others, and we are the ones that don't take the time to take care of ourselves first. Please, my friends, take care of you first so that you can be the best and most effective leader and coordinator in your community, the best person possible. We need the best of you. Your community needs the best of you. Your family needs the best of you. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been disappointed? Yeah. But have you ever thought, like, where disappointment comes from? I mean, do you ever think about this? Where? Expectations, right? When expectations are set and they're not met, then we become disappointed. What if you didn't have expectations, or you replaced expectations for appreciation? You might laugh at that, but I learned to find appreciation in the little things every single day. I want to challenge you to focus on the objective more than what you might expect from others or what you might expect from yourself. Have an objective. Show up every day. Be the best you that you can be every day. I want to share with you what I'm doing in Florida with mental health and suicide prevention. I'm actually writing the curriculum for the state of Florida to certify peer support professionals and also bringing the HOPE initiative into the schools. My friends, we are changing the trend in mental health care by utilizing peer support professionals. This is amazing what we're doing. And I feel one of the best things that you can do in your community is bring in a model that is sustainable and used long after we aren't around. A model of peer support students within your schools and having peer support professionals within the community. I've been saying this for 30 years. I travel all over the world and people say, hey Jeff, what do we need to do? And I've been saying, you know, our communities need to have like a life coach. Someone that goes to games and stands on the side, waves to everybody like grandparents and cheering people on. I've been telling teachers, we need to stop teaching because we have a contract. We need to show up before the kids come. We need to leave after the kids leave. We need to greet them in the morning. We need to give them a high five, chest bump. What? Don't do that. That's illegal and inappropriate, and there's a lawsuit. But you get what I'm talking about. We need to cheer each other on. We need to be each other's number one fans. And I'll tell you, the big issue facing our society today, youth and families, is simply this. And at this time, I'm putting a slide up so you can see what I'm saying. Take a look at this slide. The biggest issue facing young people, our communities, families today is two distinct feelings. And the first one, I'm alone, which basically means to the individual that they don't have meaningful relationships. Now, the other side here is there's a feeling of disappointment or burdensomeness. And that basically means to the individual that they feel like they serve as a liability. They're not making any noticeable contribution to the world. Well, here's what concerns me. Not so much the circle below that says they have a desire to want to die. Because as I deal with suicide every single day, I'll tell you something. People don't want to die. They want the pain to end. That's what they want. But we live in a world that is instant gratification. I mean, think about it. You put a debit card in an ATM, you get cash. You send a selfie out, you get likes. You send a text, you get an immediate response. But life is not in the here and the now. Life is not about perfection. You have to be patient in the process. And if you are dealing with these emotions, these thoughts and these feelings, and they're really affecting your well-being, and you don't talk to somebody, again, if you don't speak it out, you act it out. And so what do? Well, look in the middle where I have that glob of red there, self-harm. And so people are acting it out in self-harm, and that's cutting, it's self-medicating. I mean, it's tobacco, it's vaping, it's over-the-counter drugs, it's prescription drugs, it's alcohol, it's so many things. My concern is if we don't address or intervene and let people know that we got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, asking the question, intervening in a compassionate, non-judgmental way where people feel that they're going to be respected, their thoughts and their feelings are going to be validated. And I tell people, listen, if I can give you in a healthy way what you're looking for in an unhealthy way, would you want that? And they say, well, yeah. And that's when I talk about it's okay to not be okay. But it's not okay to not be okay and not talk to somebody about it. Because if you keep it all in, it manifests and it comes out in other areas of your life. Back to me, my friends. As a matter of fact, today, I took a 211 phone call from a mother and her 27-year-old daughter. The 27-year-old daughter has been bottling it up for the past 3 months. There was a home invasion by a homeless person. Broke into her home, attacked her. She took a knife, stabbed him, and the guy died. She didn't talk about it. She didn't want to talk about it. Finally, it manifested to a point where she's exploding with strong suicidal ideation, threatening to jump off the bridge. My friends, what we need to do is give people permission to share what's on their hearts. And for us to do that, we need to compassionately listen, not fix it, but give them the space that they can talk, not judge them. We need to de-escalate their emotions and their anxiety level. I'm telling you, I would love for you to incorporate in your community the peer support model. It's incredible. My friends, looking back over the years, my greatest regret in life is hurting people. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you, I love the AA 12-step program. I don't live with addiction. I'm not a drinker. I've never touched a drug in my life. But I started doing the AA 12 steps before I even got involved in attending AA meetings as a friend, as a professional, and making it a part of my life. And I now also do Al-Anon as well. I'll tell you what happened. My best friend since high school, a retired Blue Angels pilot. Alcohol became the most influential part of his life. He started coping, not by speaking, but he started coping with life's problems through drinking. He's now going through a divorce. His kids want nothing to do with him. Came out of rehab for the 3rd time. And I said to him, "You're coming to live with me." And so he's been living with me for about 5 months. He's doing incredible. We do AA together every morning at 7 a.m. You know, one thing I love about the 12-step program is it comes a point when you got to make amends. And I remember when I made amends with people before I even heard about this through AA. My friends, I love the AA program. I think there's a problem, there's a solution, you got to work the program. And the greatest thing I've done in hurting people is that I went back to the people that I know that I've hurt, and I've explained that I'm a man living with mental illness. I've explained my growth as a man to becoming the man that I aspire to be. And I said, I want to take time to apologize. And I did. And I'm proud of that. And you know, most people have forgiven me. Some people haven't. And that's okay. It's okay because you can't change people. You can't change places. You can't change things. But you know what you can do? You can change yourself. And that's a great place to come to in your life. Also, learning to forgive yourself is a powerful and incredible place to come to. It's a process. But I guess it's called living in recovery, right? My friends, this is an everyday process to becoming the man, the woman, the person that someday that you aspire to be. Listen, here's the deal. You only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know. And so I say that because I always want you to be learning. I always want you to be growing. The same message that we tell our students, we tell our schools, our community. Always be learning, always be growing. Have a growth mindset versus having a fixed mindset, right? Man, I tell you, I'm learning more now than I ever did because my ego changed. It's not about me. I love to learn. And here's something else that I want to give you so that you can incorporate this into your model in your community. I call it the 5 components of wellness. Like I said earlier, do you remember? Let's take a minute. Hope, education, personal responsibility, self-advocating, and having a support team. Those 5 things: hope, education, personal responsibility, advocate, and having a support network. It's the cornerstone of your mental, physical, your overall well-being. And so here's the bottom line with most of our issues that I deal with, that we deal with from those that we serve. I'm talking about surface issues. I'm not talking about clinical mental health. I'm not talking about diagnoses, but I'm talking about just surface issues. And it's pretty much this simple. There's a situation that happens, right? Whether it's good or bad, there's a situation. And so that situation drives our thoughts within our brain housing group. And depending on how you see the situation will determine your thought pattern, and then your feelings then take over from the thoughts that you're having. Makes sense, right? From thoughts to feelings, and feelings now to behavior. Again, you'll either be the victim or the victor. You'll either be bitter or better. What does this mean? Where does this come from? It's simple. Self-esteem. How you value yourself. How you look at situations that you've been through in your life. And again, I don't know what has happened. Maybe something traumatic, and I say this as sensitively and with compassion as much as possible. Trauma to one person doesn't mean the same for what another person may have gone through. And we aren't to be the ones to judge and to say what somebody has been through, whether it's serious or not. To them it is, and that's what matters. My friends, what I'm simply trying to say is that we need to encourage and support communication and talking it out, because if you don't speak it out, you're going to be acting it out. And then major problems come from that. I want to share with you about thoughts and feelings. Thoughts are what they are. They're thoughts. Like an arm is an arm, a leg is a leg. Thoughts are just what they are. They're thoughts. But feelings, man. And you know, the problem is men. We're taught that we're supposed to be tough and macho. You ever ask someone, hey, how you doing? And I'm fine. Well, what does that mean? It means I'm fine, leave me alone, I don't want to talk about it. I have a question that I love to ask. And the question is simply this. Hey man, how's your heart? How's your heart? I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman. I don't think talking about your feelings is a weakness. As a matter of fact, I think it takes courage to talk about our feelings. It takes courage to want to ask for help. It takes an incredible person that is incredibly present to compassionately listen to somebody. My friends, I'll tell you, I feel strongly that if we can compassionately listen to one another, we would reduce many of the problems that we're having in our world today. If we can compassionately listen to others. I want to give you 3 tips for your community, the families, the teens. 3 tips on how we build self-esteem. Number 1, avoid excessive exposure to social media. It's that simple. In my book, Teen Suicide, The Why Behind Today's Epidemic, I simply say, if you spend more than 4 or 5 hours on your devices, you're 70% more likely to have major depression in your life. In the next decade, you're going to see a 31% increase in suicides and drug and alcohol related exposure, or drug and alcohol related deaths. But exposure to social media. And the research today is not strong enough because we don't have the time to be able to share statistics, but the research simply states that the dopamine is saying, I want more, I want more, I want more, and it's becoming an addiction to people. They want more of what is going on. What are people doing? We got to be in the know. So avoid excessive exposure to your devices. Number 2, use thought-stopping technique. When the mind is having these negative thoughts, stop and start to think about something where you have appreciation. Just stop. Do not allow. You ain't coming through these ears. Stop. Change the thought. And number 3, build mastery. Associate with like-minded people. Get involved in things that you want to do. Motion changes emotion. Find a support network and start doing more things that you like to do with people that you want to spend more time with. And this is not just for us to teach in our community. This is for us to do for ourselves as well. I need you to advocate that it's okay to not be okay. But remember what I said. It's not okay to not be okay and to not do something about it. I need you to have trusted relationships, significant people in your life, as much as we tell young people to have those trusted adults and significant people in their life. Every person should have a trusted and significant person that they can reach out to. It's okay to talk, and we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable, talking about our thoughts and feelings. And my friends, as I share this with you, for you to incorporate within your community, again, I need to emphasize, you need to think about this for yourself as well. We can't be hypocrites. We got to do for ourselves what we're encouraging others to do for themselves. Here's another thing, one of my favorites, I over E. This is one of the best lessons that I've learned, and I use it every single day. Intellect over emotion. I over the E. Never the E over the I. Then you get yourself in a lot of trouble. Intellect over emotion. Another thing. 3 things that our youth need. Heck, I think we all need it. Number 1, sleep. Young people need 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep a day. And if you're ugly, you need more. Now, hold on. I'm not saying our kids are ugly, but I am saying maybe I have an ugly attitude. You know, they go upstairs and for 4 hours you think they're doing homework. You know, Johnny, he's such a good student. He's been up there 4 hours doing homework. He ain't up there doing homework. He's been up there on Snapface, Insta, TikTok. I don't know what they have anymore. But he's spending more time doing that than he is doing his homework. And so they sleep with their devices. You need to advocate for no devices when you're going to sleep. You turn it off, you get it charged. Because they're not getting the sleep that they need to get. And so they wake up with maybe 4 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And mom and dad, oh, good morning, honey. It's like, really, mom? How about like shut up forever? Sleep. Number 2, nutrition. Do you know sugar and depression, they're like best friends, man. So we need to talk about nutrition. More water, less soda. More protein, less carbs. Let's start getting rid of the processed foods. And number 3, put the devices down, get more involved. The more involved you are, the better your self-esteem, life skills. The more involved you are, the more friends you meet, the more fun you have. I'm telling you. Push them to get more involved and stop being lazy. We're like teaching young people that it's okay to just sit on your devices all day. No, we need to get more involved. My friends, I meet so many young people that are depressed and sad because, well, they don't know what they want to be or what they might want to do with their lives. And I'm like, who cares? Our young people should maybe start thinking about their future. Yeah, maybe, but not get so caught up in it. But my friends, it's so stressful for them, especially today, and how they're growing up is different than we can imagine. I'm telling you, growing up today is harder than it's ever been. Parenting today is harder than it's ever been. I think teaching is harder than it's ever been. Listen, here is what I want for our young people. And I tell this to my daughters. They're 30 and 28. Know that, number 1, perfection doesn't exist. Learn to have balance and boundaries. Learn to say no. Social media, you love it, you hate it. You know what social media promotes today? Narcissistic behavior, narcissistic tendencies to like make it all about you because you want likes, and you think the more likes you have, the more friends, the more popular. It's an Instagram society. I want for our young people under our watch to understand that attitude, choices, and behavior matter. And with that said, I say this, do your best in everything you do. Wake up, get up, dress up, and show up. And while you're there, be present every day. Do that, and I promise you'll be okay in your future endeavors. And it will work itself out. Here are 2 questions that I challenge you to answer every day that you show up to work. Number 1, can I trust you? Number 2, do you care about me? You show up every day, people ask those 2 questions. In all relationships, you got to answer those two questions. People want to know if they can trust you. People want to know if you care about them. These are the two questions that people ask in all relationships every day. My friends, when you touch the heart, the mind follows. But if you don't have your heart, your own heart in the right place, then you can't be there to listen and support someone else's heart with compassion and with empathy like we need to in our roles, professionally and personally. Again, my friends, take care of yourself first, because the better you take care of yourself, the better you're going to be in your own life. My friends, today is a great day. Remember, as you move forward and you enjoy this wonderful conference, that you only know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. My friends, this includes the world as we know it, and the world as we are trying to figure out, that we have to try and make sense of. This includes our futures as well. My friends, I encourage you to have a growth mindset. Proceed with compassion and love, grace and an abundance of appreciation. Forgive yourself. Nobody's perfect. And we are all going to be a part of life's history as it's being written or rewritten. But we have a great responsibility to be the change. Like Gandhi said, be the change that we wish to see in the world. But don't get so overwhelmed with the world. Be the change within your community. That was big for me to realize that I don't save lives. You know what I do? I plant seeds. And it's up to people to know that people come into your lives to pick the fruit and walk away, or they come into your lives for a reason. My friends, we do what we do by knowing that we can only control what we can control. We can't control things that are out of our control. But what we can control is our attitude, our choices, and our behaviors. We can control our mindset, and we can practice self-care enough to know that self-care makes us feel better all around. I use 2 mantras every day. Number 1, the 4 T's. Take time to think. Number 2, inhale peace, exhale love, baby. It's all love. Hey, I don't do yoga to get better at postures and breathing. I do yoga and AA and Al-Anon to get better at life. My friends, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I leave you with grace changes everything. Forget your mistakes. Remember the lessons that we learn along the way. Please be the change you wish to see in your community. But in order to be the change, you have to be the change yourself. And that is letting people know it's okay to talk. It's okay to not be okay. My friends, with love and light, I thank you for letting me be a part of your conference. Now you guys go out there and make it a great time. I love you. I love you. And thank you for the work you all do every day.